What's going on? Is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I just had to do a Sunday meeting with my electrician. We had a little bit of an emergency situation because I wanted to make sure before they finished the work that they was doing, you could actually see the lights. See the pot lights? One right there, one right there, one right there. And there's another one right there. And then he's going through and we're basically trying to future-proof the house. So one of the things that we were having a conversation about was the electrical outlets, chargers. Even in the garage, we want it to be 220 volt instead of it having trickle chargers. So just in case anybody owns an electric car, we want to make sure that they can charge their car, you know, kind of sort of not fast charge it, but to do a level 2 charger inside of the garage to make sure that everything is dope. But anyways, that's not what I wanted to talk about. We need to clean up a little bit more in here. That's not what I wanted to talk about. What I want to talk about specifically is this demonic culture that we living in. Yo, I honestly believe the way that things is going right now, that the world may be coming to an end relatively soon because it's anything goes. I did a review video yesterday of a woman that was basically talking about how she's poly and she got all of these different partners and she stay on prep, which I did a little bit of research and I was right. Being on prep basically means that you're in a position to where somebody could possibly or already have something like HIV and they want to put themselves in a position, but whatever they're doing, they want to put themselves in a position to where they prevent somebody else from having it or they don't have it or something like that. And it's just all stupid because when you do things the right way, you don't even have to worry about that type of stuff. The last thing I'm worried about is having to be on prep or possibly getting herpes or syphilis or, you know, I did a report on the Millionaire Morning Show, which I cite frequently, how in Houston and Atlanta, you know, the STD and the STI rates is that of a third world country, sometimes worse depending on which country that you're referencing. And instead of us saying, you know what, that just really don't sound attractive, what we do is we say, yeah, let's just see it through. Or, man, I just can't help myself. And why can't we help ourselves? Why can't we divest ourselves from the things that's not best for us? Instead, what we do is we validate it, we make excuses, or here's the best one. We remix it to try to validate exactly why we want to do it or what makes the most sense. So we'll say something like, oh man, back in the day, they used to be, you know, poly or people have multiple wives, or I've even seen people try to validate it by using references in the Bible. Well, Solomon had, man, listen, Solomon suffered. And that's the part that they don't tell you about. If you actually study your word, instead of speaking on it based off of other people's talking points, you can better articulate yourself. Solomon suffered as a result of all of the different women that he had in his life. Now, it doesn't mean that God doesn't give grace or, you know, that you can't go about doing it a little bit differently or you can't fix your life. But that doesn't mean you have to subject yourself to it in the first place, especially when you know better. And the worst part about it is that because we don't live to be 1,000 years old, we can never really come back from the things that we making mistakes about. So when I talk to you, when I say, hey, fam, that's not the way to go. We probably want to move a little bit differently. We don't want to continue to put ourselves in a position to crash out. You shun and you reject it and you get mad about it and you say, well, Anton, why are you trying to dick police? Ain't nobody trying to, I don't care, bro. Listen, I want you to get as much pussy as you possibly can, but I don't want you to suffer as a result of it. I'm tired of y'all having to be in family court. I'm tired of y'all having to be subjected to and rejected based off of the fact that your ex-girlfriend is now leveraging the relationship that you want with your child against you. I'm tired of y'all sitting here complaining about women when a lot of these issues that we have, regardless of the fact that, yeah, you know, she's her and she's doing whatever she's doing, a lot of these issues is self-inflicted wounds. Just because she subjected me to it don't mean that I got to accept it. And so that's where we as men have to start being a little bit more disciplined, and it doesn't absolve her from being held responsible. But in reality, man, listen, Everything that glitters ain't gold, and everything that look good shouldn't be touched. But we continue to have these conversations over and over. And I understand it, right? Like, you're not going to fix everybody. Everybody that see this video is not going to rock with it. But more importantly, hopefully, it's somebody and someone that hears this and sees this and say, you know what, Anton? I do need to be a little bit more strategic. I do want to be a little bit more careful. I do want to make a better decision not to put myself in a position to have to suffer as a result of the same things that my father suffered for and my grandfather suffered for and the people that came before us. We so technologically advanced, but we can't cite and reference things in truth of how we need to be doing things differently going forward. It's unfortunate. And then now we got more broken homes than ever. Even though we smarter than ever, we more technologically advanced than ever, we've documented more things than ever, but we still making the same mistakes because we don't want to have a level of discipline. Man, look, the biggest thing that a woman has over you is the fact that she's a woman. Her body, pussy, femininity, her mouth. And so she's going to use every tool that she can to finesse you. She going to make you a step baby daddy. She going to have you have her kid. How many times do we see the same type of women at the basketball games, at the players' hotels, finessing y'all? And then you can't control yourself because you think that money gives you more access to women, when in reality, it gives you more access to suffer. And then she comes up and is a beneficiary of something that she never even shot in the gym with for you, but you doing it what, for some pussy? Is it worth it? Yo, look, man. Two things that I never wanted to do, or I was always sure that I wasn't going to do. Number one, ever have a child out of wedlock. I swore to myself that I would never bring a child home for multiple different reasons, whether it was not to disappoint my parents, whether it was, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to be the weak link in my family. I didn't want to be the person that brought a kid home out of wedlock and then I was making excuses and all of that, right? My brothers never did it. I wasn't going to do it. My father didn't do it. My uncles did. I wasn't going to be the weak link. So that was number one, right? I never wanted to be subjected to the family court laws and the systems. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to advocate for you. But what it does mean is, it means that I was very strategic and careful not to put myself in that position in the first place. I was never going to bring a child home out of wedlock. And I certainly, sorry, y'all. I was yelling at the basketball game. My voice is hoarse. I want to make sure that I can get this out as much as possible. The second thing was, I was never, ever, under any circumstances, was going to be walking around with a disease. That was out of the question. No diseases, no children out of wedlock. Everything else I can come back from. I can come back from losing a business. I can come back from, you know what I'm saying, anything that was wrong, anything financially related, as long as I wasn't going to jail and as long as I wasn't putting myself under the thumb of a woman, I felt like I was going to be okay. And I figured that shit out, because a lot of the mistakes that we make when we're younger, we got to live with it for the rest of our lives. Now, we make the best of it and we say, oh, okay, well, I would never trade my kid in or whatever. That's because you know him. But if you had the opportunity to do it again with a woman that was actually down for you or was a good mother, or not even do it at all, now that you have that hindsight, we probably would do it differently. But we don't have those conversations. You know why? Because the only thing we care about is seeing it through and what makes us feel good. We need to make better decisions for our kids, better decisions for ourselves, and then speaking truth. I love you. I appreciate you. Stop crashing out for these hoes. They don't have your best interests at heart. Run your money. Think about it. All of the money that you paid in child support. What's going on, my friend? All of the money you paid in child support, all of the money that you give to these women, how much more can you make as an investment in yourself that you can possibly pass over into your child, or just live the life that you really want to live? But instead, we still have these conversations, these fucked up conversations about what it is that's best for her, or stepping out, or becoming step baby daddies, or seeing it through with the possibility of getting a disease. Fuck that. I'm going to live my life the way that I really want to live it, based off of how I see fit, not based off of how the judges or the systems or some woman is going to tell me what to do. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to hold y'all down. I'm out. Peace.